right, Sagittarius, here we go. This is your 2020 Wheel of the Year Guide to Planetary Retrogrades. I am going to go through a Wheel of the Year tarot reading going from Yule all the way around to Samhain or Halloween, which is New Year's 2020. I'm going from Yule, that's coming up now, 2019. And I'm going to be going over all the planetary retrogrades that are happening in between each turn of the year. Now, at the end of your reading last year, I saw that you went into the October season with a sense of cutting through the bullshit and learning some karmic lessons. But I also saw you coming in with a lot of like player-esque energy. Maybe entertaining exes or entertaining people you know you shouldn't be entertaining, or a lot of flirtatious energy around you. But I do see that you were beginning to end a major life cycle that you were going through. Going into October, you were getting ready, and that last Mercury retrograde was the kickoff to the ending of a major life cycle that you have been running. All right, so going into December 21st, I see you surrounded by unsupportive people, or people you feel are unsupportive. Are they really unsupportive? Are they really being critical of you? Or are you just batting away constructive criticism? Are you in defense mode to the point where it doesn't matter what people say anymore? You're going to keep swinging your stick at everybody. Meanwhile, everybody's looking at you like you're the one that's been waving your stick around. We're just defending ourselves from you, and we're trying to tell you that's what we're doing, but you can't hear that because you are stuck in defense mode. With this defense mode energy, its polar opposite energy that you've got going on is going from being super aggressive to trying to be going to super charming and romance to try to win people back over to you. So I see you going through this defensive energy and then trying to switch gears at that point and going from being super defensive to super sweet to try and win people back over to your side. Now going from Yule to Imbolc, which is February 2nd, we have Uranus going direct on January 20th. And it's going direct in Taurus, and that's going to bring us a lot of people are starting to accept the new changes. They're starting to accept people have changed. They're starting to accept the world is changing. There's a lot of acceptance going on. It's not fast, it's Taurus, it's slow, it's steady, but it is coming into play globally, and it should be coming into play if you've been doing the inner work with those around you, starting to genuinely feel like you have changed. But that is up to you. If you keep playing this back and forth defensive mode into sweet mode, back into defensive mode, if you say anything I don't like, back into sweet mode, please give me compliments, that's not going to get you anywhere. That's not changing. That's just putting on two different fronts, going from being super aggressive and defensive to super sweet. Those are just two different faces. You have to find a balance in there with those. Going into February 2nd, into Imbolc, I see a celebration of generations. This is a multitude of generations. This is end of January, beginning of February here. And yeah, a lot of family ties going on. This is a multitude of generations celebrating together, and I see a lot of women celebrating around you. Multitude of generations of women celebrating around you. Now, with these women celebrating around you, I see that you may still be in a bit of a defense mode. You're just keeping quiet about it. This is the red joker, and it is reversed, and it is a sword, sharp word energy card. And this is hiding resentment. This is hiding the fact that you're still actually carrying the toxic cycle. You're just hiding it in the back of your mind and not being vocal about it so that people don't realize that you really are still in defense mode. You're still waiting for them to attack. And I would tell you this, if you are waiting for someone to attack you, or you are waiting for something to fight and you are putting up that defensive frequency, the universe will continue to give you things to fight with because it thinks you want that. It thinks you want to fight. So it will give you obstacles to fight. So be mindful of that going into February, going into these celebrations. Try to drop that toxic thought pattern. Now going from Imbolc to Ostara on March 20th, we have our first Mercury retrograde. This is going from Pisces to Aquarius back to Pisces, a very emotional back and forth energy into an enlightened energy, back into a very emotional energy. And that's going to be happening from February 17th to March 10th. And this is going to be a time to reorganize your priorities around emotions you struggle to communicate. So if you're not honestly communicating in all aspects of your life and you are hiding little things and you are hiding insecurities and stuff like that, that is what this Mercury retrograde is going to pull to the forefront for everybody to see. And that can lead to some troubles with this reverse sword energy. Mind your tongue. It will get you in trouble if you're not careful during Mercury retrogrades. They are all about miscommunication. Going into Ostara, March 20th, I see the universe trying to connect with you. The world trying to guide you. It's trying to give you the guidance that you need. You're becoming more aware of what you need to do. I see a persistence to stabilize. So this is the world giving you guidance to where you need to go and where you need to be in order to gain the stability that you're searching for. And I see you being persistent in building that stability. Going from Ostara to Beltane on May 1st, so the end of March to the beginning of May, we have Pluto going retrograde in Capricorn on April 25th. This is going to be right around Easter. Or right after Easter, and it's going to feel like certain little things are burning to the ground, especially business-related things or business relationships or ways that you've been doing things. That's what's going to pop up. It's going to burn away things, and it's going to feel like the universe is taking things away from you, but it's merely taking things away in order for you to be forced to find a new efficient way of doing things and how to establish new patterns. So going into Beltane on May 1st, this is a self-inflicted isolation here. This is putting yourself in this. You cannot transform by ignoring your roles in the problem. So if you are going to go through this isolation, really take the time to actually work on yourself, do the inner work, look at where you've been making mistakes, look at where things have gone good for you and when things are going bad for you, and look at your own attitude and your own words and the way that you presented yourself that led to these problems. You can't hide from the universe. It doesn't matter if you're hiding. It will find you and it will force you to look at yourself. And if you're always angry with yourself, you will see that reflecting back from everyone and everything around you. So if you're going into this isolation, take time to really recognize and take time to do that inner work if you're going to do that. Now, I see part of the reason that you're going into this isolation is lust, temptation, a siren's call. I see this maybe being cut off from social media or suddenly being watched a lot on your social media. Someone distrusts. And someone doesn't trust you not to be tempted because that is a cycle you've always been stuck in. So they're expecting you to be still sucked in by temptation all the time. So be careful who you're locking yourself in an isolation with this energy. So going from Ostara to Beltane May 1st. Oh, no. We're going from Beltane to Midsummer. We got 4 planets going into retrograde. All right, so here's the big chunk. This is where a lot of stuff is going down, all right? We have got Jupiter going into Capricorn. This is going to be a time to re-examine old philosophies, old programs that you're running. Are you doing things genuinely because your intuition's telling you to do, or are you just doing things because tradition tells you to do them? Are you running the old program or are you genuinely following your path? That's what that's bringing. Saturn is going retrograde from Aquarius back into Capricorn on May 11th. And I only see this being a problem for people who have been cutting corners and not genuinely doing the work. If you haven't been doing the work, if you haven't been paying your fair share, if you have been trying to circumnavigate and get other people to take care of your responsibilities so that you can be more slack off with them, this is where Saturn is going to bite you in the ass. Now, if you've been genuinely putting in the work and you've been really prioritizing genuine things that you need to prioritize, yourself, your family, your job, and you've been genuinely processing everything and taking care of your own emotions, Saturn ain't gonna bother you. It's only gonna blow up areas where you tried to cut a corner somewhere, or you tried to get a way around a responsibility. Then we've got Venus going retrograde in Pisces May 13th to June 5th. So this is going to happen before we even flip the next card. This is going to be temptations are high and willpower is low. This is a regular cycle that you should be used to. It's going into the summer. There's bathing suits and body oil and nonsense, sand and beaches and going to clubs and going out and barbecues and all that other stuff. You're going to run into people who are going to tempt you, and you are going to have weakness in that area. So if you are mindful that you know you're going to be tempted, then you can be mindful enough to have some willpower and not just go, I have no control, and just let yourself be led around, by pheromones. Now, the final retrograde in this cluster is the Mercury retrograde, and that's going to start June 8th. So, Venus comes out of retrograde, Mercury goes right into it in Capricorn. And now this is don't get distracted by past love. So once you get past all this new temptation, you're going to have exes coming out of the woodwork too. And you're going to have to make sure that you do not allow them to distract you from what you're trying to do and what you're trying to actually accomplish for yourself. There's a lot that can be done, business and work related, with Jupiter going into Capricorn for the next several years. It's a lot of business opportunities that can get taken care of as long as you don't get distracted by any time someone bats their eyes at you or throws you a compliment. So going into midsummer, I see you expecting a reward, a project or a relationship to occur, something you've been working for towards a while, and it still needs a little bit more time to accumulate, but you're expecting that to start coming in. You're expecting some grand reward or project or maybe a new job offer, something along those lines, something most likely business or money related. It could be love if that's what you've really had to focus on all the time, but I'm seeing definitely a lot of business reward that you're expecting here. Now, this is the generosity card, the charity card. This is giving to get the reward. This is trying to be giving to get the reward. But still be guarded of your finances. Don't give away too much of your time and energy for free to the point that it's detrimental to you. So keep working on what this is, but make sure that you're being fairly compensated for it, and make sure you're not giving too much of your valuable time and your valuable money away while you're doing it. Going from midsummer to Lunasa on August 1st, we have Neptune going retrograde in Pisces on the 23rd. This is all these people that come out of the woodwork. If you manage to actually navigate around them and not get lured into their drama, this is where they're all going to flip out. This is where true colors are shown. This is where people tell you who they really are. This is shattering illusions across the board. This could be family. This could be coworkers. This could be your love partner, anything like that. People are going to show you their true colors, and it's going to shatter a couple of illusions for you. Don't dwell on it. The universe did that on purpose so that you knew who really had your back. All right, so that's the Neptune and Pisces. All right, so going into Lunasa, I see a major life change, a necessary change. Fair judgment casted and humbly accepting it as fair to move forward. This is a forced maturity from the universe. This is the universe coming at you and saying, okay, Here's the burdens we have placed on your shoulders. It is your responsibility to carry them. And you are going to have to say, yes, I understand. I do need to carry these burdens. These are my burdens to carry. This is the Saturn retrograde accumulating to the top. Whatever you had been avoiding, whatever you had been trying to skate out of, whatever responsibilities you were hiding from, they will be presented to you in a way that you can no longer deny them, and you will be forced to accept them. This doesn't have to be a bad card. This is usually a good card. This is usually a major life change in your favor. The only time this is ever a bad card is if you're fighting the forced change. If you're fighting it just to fight it, then yeah, it's going to be a bad card. I do see, now this is usually the super aligned, happy life, happy wife card. Whatever this judgment is and whatever responsibilities that are going to be placed on your shoulders, I see someone behind you that is not happy about the responsibilities. They are not happy that they are not number one priority anymore. They are not, this is happy wife, happy life, and she ain't fucking happy about this shit. So be mindful if you've got somebody that you're trying to build a life with and they're mad at you for taking on responsibilities you're supposed to be taking on, or suddenly life isn't what they thought it would be with you and now they're just angry and dwelling in that. They don't feel like this is fair to them. They, for some reason, feel like your responsibilities are their responsibilities and they're not happy about it. Be mindful of people like that, people that don't genuinely have your back, and they're going to make your struggles harder. They'll make you want to fight and rail against this. They'll make this be dramatic. And this is only, life is only dramatic if you want it to be. These timelines are only dramatic if you want them to be. If you don't want them to be dramatic, all you do is not act dramatic. I mean, that's really how the timelines work. All right, so going from Lunasa to Maboon in the end of September. So this is beginning of August to the end of September. We have Mars going retrograde in Aries on September 3rd. And this is don't rush. You're going to get something laser focus. You're going to see it and you're going to want it and you're going to want to take off after it. But you got to be careful to watch your feet and make sure that you're stepping on solid ground and you're standing on solid ground before you step forward. If you go to just start hauling ass forward, you're going to trip over your feet. You're going to get distracted by things around you. You're not going to be watching what you're doing and you're going to make a mistake. So this retrograde is all about be mindful of what you're doing. So by the end of September, I see a new home or a stabilizing situation, putting down some more solid roots with or a solid foundation within a relationship. This is the down-to-earth maternal energy. This is a relationship that balances and really has a lot of the creative energy. So this could be this person that is starting to accept the new foundation and the new you with the responsibilities that you got, and you've proved yourself that you can handle these responsibilities. This is going to be her loving, nurturing energy now. It took her a minute to get used to it, but I told you, with Taurus going direct January, and it's direct. You know, when being in Taurus, it takes a minute, but people do start to accept the change. Going from the end of September into Samhain, we have our final Mercury retrograde. And this retrograde is going to go from Scorpio to Libra, back to Scorpio again. So this is going to be that Scorpion energy of that soft, gooey interior covered in a harder exterior with claws and a spike on it. To the Libra energy, which is very air, very vocal, very I need to say how I feel, I need to express how I feel, I need to speak a lot, I need to say a lot, I need to use all the words to tell you. Back into, well, now if you respond, I've got my stinger and my claws back, so you better be careful what you say. Understand that not only are you going to be feeling these energies, but those around you will be feeling these energies. So if you know that they're happening, that you can be mindful of them so that you don't make problems exponentially worse. Now going from Mad Moon at the end of September to the beginning of November, end of October. I see by going into October that you are dynamic, you are stable, you are mastering business energies, and you are moving forward in a way that will create prosperity in your life. I also see that by the time you are done with all these trials, you have your ride or die to death do us part partners and friendships and teammates around you. This could be love related, this could be family, this could be a group of friends, this could be a team at a job that you finally got and they're just amazing people and you're just ready to ride with these people and you guys are ready to create some stuff. This is very passionate. The King of Rods is very passionate. He's very much fire energy, which is your energy, Sagittarius. All right? Now, right after this, Aries goes direct November 4th, and this plays right into it. Once Aries goes direct, it's all about that laser focus and going for what you want and being stable and gaining footing and confidence that you deserve what it is you're going after and you're ready to start climbing. And that will be the final big planetary movement of the year. And then we have your oracle card here. Now you got the dragonfly. This is major, life-changing, rapid change that is going to be happening to you this year. It might take all year to do it, but it's going to be a fast year for you because this is going to just be life demanding you to grow. It's not giving you any other choice but to grow up this year. There's no way of getting around it. You can fight and rail against it as much as you want, but by the time you hit here, you're accepting the fact that you have no choice but to change at this point. So it is time to adjust your way of thinking. You have no choice but to surrender to it. So go with the flow and allow the universe to show you what it's trying to do for you. These trials are meant to transform you. And the more difficult they are, the more transformation you get out of them. So be open to it. Be open to the ebb and the flow of these retrogrades, washing in and removing things that no longer serve you and bringing in other things that you do need and teaching you these lessons that help you learn so that you can be in this wonderful spot by the end of the year where you're just in total fire energy mode with a good team around you. If you want that, you're going to have to get with the program of growing up and expanding and genuinely changing your whole thought patterns. Get out of this defense mode that you carry over here and get into the love frequency. All right, guys? That is your 2020 Wheel of the Year Planetary Guide to Retrogrades. If you enjoy this, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll leave a link below to our Facebook group, The Coven, The Silver Cord, where I do more free cards and coffee, and we do all kinds of other games and fun daily affirmations. There's lots of files, all that good stuff. And I will talk to you guys later.